Ladies, listen to me. If you want a man to respect you, I'm talking real respect, not just like you, not just chase you for a minute and disappear. You need to set boundaries. And I ain't talking about walls to keep people out. I'm talking about standards that make them step up. If you sell yourself cheap, people gonna treat you like you on clearance. I don't care how fine you are, how sweet you are, how much potential you see in a man. If you're not valuing yourself first, you gonna end up being somebody's option instead of somebody's choice. See, the thing is, people treat you based on how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself like you ain't worth much, like you need somebody to complete you, then guess what? Somebody's gonna come along and take advantage of that. And they ain't gonna feel bad about it either, because you told them with your actions that it was okay. Ladies, listen. A man is only gonna go as far as you let him. If you make it easy for him to slide in, do what he wants, say what he wants, disappear and come back like nothing happened, you're not setting a standard, you're setting yourself up. You might not even realize it, but you're teaching him how to treat you. You're saying, I don't require much, and he hears that loud and clear. Let me give you an example. You ever been to a luxury store? Ain't no sale signs, ain't no loud promotions, and definitely no begging for your attention. You either come in ready or you walk on by. But them high-end stores, they don't chase customers. They let their worth speak for them. Now compare that to the clearance bin at the back of some random store. Messy, cheap, anybody can grab it, and if it breaks, oh well. That's what happens when you don't know your value. You get tossed around like something temporary. And I ain't just talking about money. I'm talking about emotional value, your peace, your time, your energy. These things are priceless, but too many women hand them out to people who ain't earned it. You gotta stop giving boyfriend privileges to men who ain't even qualified to be friends yet. You feel me? Here's what happens when you raise your standard. You might lose a few people, and that's okay. That ain't rejection, that's filtration. They weren't built to respect the kind of woman you are. That ain't your fault, that's their level. But when you hold the line, when you say, no, I won't settle, you open the door for the kind of man who sees you and says, she's different, I gotta come correct. And let me tell you, a real man wants a challenge. He ain't looking for a doormat, he's looking for a woman who makes him step up. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to act tough, but you do have to be clear. Clear about what you want, clear about what you want, accept, and clear about who you are. Because when you know your worth, your vibe changes. You walk different, you talk different. You stop entertaining foolishness. You stop answering calls at midnight from a man who only shows up when he wants something. You stop explaining why you deserve the bare minimum. Let me break it down for you even more. A man will pursue what he values. If he values you, he's gonna invest, he's gonna plan, he's gonna communicate. If he's not doing that, then baby, he doesn't see your worth. Or he sees it and hopes you don't. Either way, it's your responsibility to make sure you don't sell yourself short. Because once you start discounting yourself, it becomes real hard to raise the price later. I know you've got a big heart. I know you want to see the good in people. I know you believe in potential. But potential ain't enough if it don't come with effort. You can't love somebody into being ready. You can't be so afraid of being alone that you settle for somebody who's halfway in and halfway out. Let me ask you something. How do you expect someone to treat you like a queen if you're busy showing them that you're willing to accept less than queen treatment? You gotta lead by example. You gotta show up for yourself first. When you do that, when you truly honor your value, That's when the right one recognizes you. That's when a man comes into your life, not to play with you, but to build with you. So stop shrinking, stop apologizing for having standards. Stop giving people passes because you're scared they'll leave. If somebody walks away because you won't let them mistreat you, they just did you a favor. That ain't loss, that's clarity. You are not for everyone, and you shouldn't want to be. Be for the one who sees your value without needing a sale sign to figure it out. Be the woman who doesn't settle, not because she's arrogant, but because she knows her peace, her love, her loyalty, her body, her time, all of that is sacred. And when you live like that, the world, especially men, will have no choice but to respect you more. Let me tell you something that's going to change your relationships forever if you let it sink in. Access without effort leads to disrespect. You hear me? Access without effort leads to disrespect. When you give somebody the benefits without requiring them to earn it, what you're doing is telling them, you ain't got to try that hard for me. I'm already here. And when people don't have to try, they usually don't appreciate what they're getting. Now look, this goes beyond dating. It's a life principle. Anything that's too easy to get is easy to take for granted. You ever notice how people treat stuff they worked hard for? They protect it, they invest in it, they check on it. But that stuff they just stumbled on or got for free, man, they toss it around like it don't mean nothing. That's how relationships work too. If you give a man all your time, all your emotional support, your body, your energy, and he didn't have to earn any of it, he's not going to value it. Not because he's a bad person, but because it's human nature. People value what costs them something. If it didn't cost him time, effort, consistency, sacrifice, he's not going to see the true worth of what you're giving. Now, I know somebody out there is thinking, but Steve, shouldn't love be unconditional? Shouldn't I just be open and kind and available? Listen, there's a difference between being loving and being available to be used. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can be warm-hearted and still tell somebody, now you got to show me you serious before you get this part of me. That ain't cold. That's self-respect. See, a lot of women get caught up in the fear that if they don't give a man access early, whether it's emotional, physical, or just always being available, he's going to leave. Let me tell you something. If a man leaves because you didn't give it all up immediately, that man was never staying anyway. All you did was speed up the process. That ain't rejection. That's protection. You need to know your worth enough to say, I require effort. I'm not just out here giving wife benefits to a man who won't even claim me in public. I'm not giving you my body if you can't give me consistency. I'm not giving you my time if you don't respect it. And I'm definitely not giving you the deepest parts of me if you're only showing up when it's convenient for you. That's how you protect your peace. And listen, this ain't about being manipulative or playing hard to get. This is about protecting your soul. This is about saying, I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not scared to eat alone until the right person brings a seat and some respect. Now, some people won't like that. You're going to get called too difficult, too picky, too much. Let me explain something to you. Low-effort people always think boundaries are attitude. When someone's used to getting everything easy, your standards feel like an attack. But that's not your problem. That's their growth point, not your compromise point. I've seen too many women give themselves away piece by piece, trying to hold on to somebody who wouldn't even show up for them fully. Let me ask you something. Why should a man give you 100% if you're already handing out everything for free at 30%? He don't have to step up because you already stepped all the way in without asking for anything in return. Effort ain't just flowers and dates. It's consistency. It's presence. It's him checking in on your day, not just checking in when he's bored or lonely. It's him remembering what matters to you. It's him showing you, not just telling you, that he's interested. And if that ain't showing up, why are you? You're not desperate, you're divine. You're not meant to be an option on somebody's phone. You're meant to be a priority in someone's life. But that starts with you. If you don't treat yourself like a priority, how can you expect anyone else to? It's okay to say, I need more from you if I'm going to give more of me. It's okay to require consistency before intimacy. It's okay to say, you don't get access to my peace until you show me you won't disturb it. That's not cold, that's clarity. That's not rejection, that's direction. Let them work for it. Let them invest. Let them show up over time, not just for a week or two, because effort over time is where real intentions live. Anybody can pretend for a minute, but effort that doesn't fade, now that's real. And that's the only thing you need to open the door. So stop handing out front row seats to people who ain't earned the ticket. Stop giving stage time to folks who only clap when it benefits them. You are the prize. Act like it, believe it, and require others to treat you like it. Not because you're arrogant, but because you finally learned that access to you is a privilege, not a free-for-all. Let's get one thing straight right now. If he can't talk, he can't stay. Period. I don't care how fine he is, how much potential you think he has, how good the chemistry feels. If that man cannot communicate, you are not in a relationship. You are in a guessing game. And guess what? Love don't live in confusion. Respect sure don't either. Let me ask you something. How many times have you sat there wondering what he's thinking, what he wants, where you stand, why he pulled back, why he ghosted and then came back like nothing happened? That ain't cute. That ain't romantic. That's emotional chaos. And if you're allowing it, you're training yourself to normalize dysfunction. You should not be confused every other day and calling it a relationship. Now look, I hear the excuses. He's just not a good communicator. He's not used to expressing his feelings. He's been through a lot. Okay, we all got a story. We all got baggage. But you're not a rehab center. You're not there to teach a grown man how to use his words like he's in kindergarten. That's not your responsibility. Communication is not optional. It's the glue, it's the oxygen, it's the steering wheel. You can't build anything meaningful with someone who shuts down when things get real. You can't grow with someone who disappears whenever it gets uncomfortable. Because here's what silence breeds: doubt. And doubt turns into anxiety. Anxiety turns into overthinking. And then before you know it, you're over there trying to decode every little thing. What his text meant, why he took so long to reply, whether or not he's mad at you. You should never have to beg for clarity. If a man wants to be in your life, and I mean really be there, not just show up on Friday nights, he's going to make sure you know where you stand. He's not going to have you out here in limbo. He's not going to leave your text on read, make you feel like you're asking for too much just because you want a real conversation. A man who respects you makes communication a priority, not an inconvenience. And let me be clear, consistency matters more than charm. Anybody can talk smooth for a week. Anybody can have a good conversation when things are easy. But real respect shows up in the way a man handles hard conversations. When he's tired, when he's upset, when there's conflict. Can he still show up and talk like a grown man, or does he retreat, deflect, and blame you for starting drama just because you want understanding? That "I'm just not good at talking" line, that's a cop-out. We live in a world where people text full novels to their boys about sports. We got grown men arguing for hours on podcasts about sneakers, hip-hop, and video games. So don't tell me he don't know how to express himself. He knows. He just chooses not to with you, and that choice tells you everything you need to know. See, a lot of women settle for silence because they're afraid of rocking the boat. They don't want to seem needy or demanding, so they keep their questions to themselves. They downplay their needs. They sit on their feelings, hoping he'll magically figure it out. But that's not how this works. Closed mouths don't get fed, and silent relationships starve. You got to speak up. You got to say, "I need consistency. I need clarity. I need you to talk to me, not at me, not around me, with me." And if you can't do that, you got to be willing to walk. Because silence where there should be communication is a form of disrespect. And if you accept that silence, you're telling him loud and clear that your peace doesn't matter. Let's get something else straight. Communication ain't just about talking, it's also about listening. A man who respects you will listen to understand, not just respond. He won't interrupt every time you try to express yourself. He won't gaslight you or twist your words. He'll say, "Help me understand what you're feeling," even when it's uncomfortable. That's real. That's mature. That's respect. Some women think that if they stay silent, things will smooth over. But silence don't build trust. It builds resentment. You start holding in all your frustrations, and then one day it explodes over something small, and now y'all arguing over the wrong thing. Not because of the toothpaste cap, not because of the socks on the floor, but because you've been quiet about real needs for too long. Don't shrink yourself to keep a man comfortable. Don't quiet your voice so he won't leave. If a man walks away because you expressed a basic emotional need, let him go. That ain't strength he's showing by leaving. That's immaturity. There's a man who ain't ready for what you're offering. You're not too much. Wanting communication is not extra. Needing conversation, clarity, consistency, that's grown woman expectations. Don't let anybody talk you into believing you have to accept the bare minimum just to have somebody around. When you value yourself, you value your voice. And when you value your voice, you don't stay where you're constantly being silenced. Because at the end of the day, respect sounds like effort. It sounds like transparency. It sounds like accountability. And if it's always quiet, that's your answer right there. Let me break something down for you. You don't have to say yes to everything and everybody to be a good woman. Matter of fact, the quickest way to lose yourself is to become a people pleaser. And a lot of y'all out here doing it not because you want to, but because somewhere deep down, you think your value is tied to how much you can tolerate. You think that the more you give, the more you forgive, the more you bend, the more a man will love and respect you. But let me tell you something, that's not how this works. Respect doesn't come from how much of yourself you sacrifice. It comes from how much of yourself you protect. Every time you say yes when you really mean no, you teach people that your boundaries are flexible. And I ain't talking about compromise. That's healthy. I'm talking about self-betrayal. I'm talking about when you keep showing up for people who leave you empty. When you keep answering that phone, taking him back, giving him the benefit of the doubt over and over, even though you know deep down he ain't changed. You got to stop thinking love means suffering. That ain't love. That's survival mode. And too many of you have been in survival mode so long, you think it's your job to carry people who won't even lift a finger for you. Let me tell you what happens when you operate like that. People stop seeing you as a person and start seeing you as a convenience. And once you become a convenience, respect walks right out the door. See, a man can only respect what he knows he can't just run over. If he knows you're always going to say yes even when it hurts you, he's not going to value that. Not because he's evil, but because you've shown him your no doesn't exist. You've shown him your peace ain't a priority. And if you don't value your peace, why should he? There's strength in saying no. There's wisdom in saying that doesn't work for me. There's power in walking away from what drains you, no matter how much history you have with it. Don't let guilt or fear keep you locked in situations that are robbing you of your joy. Some of y'all are so afraid of being alone. You say yes to broken pieces, hoping it eventually feel whole, but it never does it? You got to understand, saying no doesn't make you mean. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you whole. You can love people and still choose yourself. You can care deeply and still draw the line. And trust me, a man who is worth your time will respect your boundaries. He won't push them. He won't guilt trip you. He won't call you difficult. He'll say, I see you, I hear you, and I'm not here to cross your line. I'm here to walk beside you. But you'll never get that kind of man if you're too afraid to make people uncomfortable. You got to stop trying to be the cool girl, the easygoing woman who never complains, never challenges, never says what she really wants.